In Heights.
There are so many aspects to this. Yes. Misinformation on this pandemic, disinformation and foreign influence operations, harassment, engagement algorithms, the effect on our politics and public discourse, the growth in people gambling on their own, scammers and chancers, and at the very worst end, radicalisation, as we've heard from so many colleagues, sexual exploitation. I'm very grateful to the Backbench Business Committee for granting time for this debate. But this isn't one subject for debate, it's about a dozen, and it needs a lot more time at these formative stages, and I hope the government will provide. I'm going to comment briefly about children specifically. When I was at the Department for Education, I heard repeatedly from teenagers who were worried about the effect on their peers' mental health of the experience of these curated perfect lives, the constant scoring of young people's popularity and attractiveness, and the bullying that no longer stops when you come through your parents' front door but stays with you overnight. I heard from teachers about the effect of technology on sleep and on concentration, and too much time taken from other things that these young people could and should be doing in their growing up. I take a lot as read in what will be in this legislation, so what I'm about to say is not an exclusive list, but I have three big asks of what the legislation and the secondary legislation should cover for children. And by children, I mean anybody up to the age of 16 or 18. And let's not have any idea that there's a separate concept of a digital age of consent, which is in some way different. The first, of course, the legislation will tackle the promotion of harms like self-harm and eating disorders. But I think we need to go further and tackle the prevalence and normalisation of content related to those topics, so fewer young people come across it in the first place. Secondly, compulsive design, techniques like autoplay, infinite scroll, streak rewards. I'm not suggesting the government should get in the business of designing the applications, but there need to be natural breaks, just as there always was when children's telly came to an end, or you ran out of coins in the amusement arcade, to go and do something else, and actually to go further. With demetrification, an ugly word but an important concept, children should not be worrying about their follower-to-following ratio or how many likes they get when they post a photograph. And bear in mind, Facebook even managed to survive without likes up until 2009. Third, we need to have a restoration of reality. Discouraging, but at the very least, clearly marking doctored photos and disclosing influencers' product placements, and not allowing the marketing of selfie facial enhancement to young children. It isn't only about digital literacy and resilience, though that, of course, also plays a part, and I think the new material in schools from this term is an important step, but will need to be developed further. It's always been hard growing up, but it's a lot harder when you're doing it live in the glare of social media. This generation will not get another chance at their youth. And that is why, yes, it is important that we get it right, but it's also important that we get it done and we move forward now. Yeah.